Hello everyone and welcome to the highlights of Spa with 949 Sim Racing. The reason why round 3 hasn't been uploaded I will explain at the end of the race, but as this race gets underway, everyone is looking for position as they're coming up at Rouge. You've got McLaren and Bentley side by side. Further down the grid there was I think Ferrari and Bentley side by side. And as Hutch comes up he's on the back end of the Bentley ahead of him with the McLaren, and it looks like another Bentley to the right of the McLaren as we come in at the end of the Camel Straight. The 240 McLaren gives his position away to the Bentley, and the Mercedes just hanging on to the back end of the 887 Bentley as we're coming through Melody. You can see the 15 Bentley on the inside of the next corner to the Lexus. The Lexus isn't giving away or trying to do it around the outside, and gets the inside line for the next corner, which makes it stick and keeps his position, and the Mercedes is back over the back end of that 887 Bentley. Number 8 Lexus starts making his way up the grid as he gets up the inside of the Mercedes, and you can see just ahead the Ferrari is up the inside of the Nissan and manages to get the move to ahead, so the Nissan couldn't fight back. Again, that Lexus all over the back end of that Nissan looking to get around as he starts making his way up the grid. He failed to qualify, invalidated both his lap times, so he is out of position way down the grid. Getting past that Nissan in Blanchimont, and he starts making his way to the Ferrari, which is just ahead of him. As we ride on board the 23 Lexus, we can see coming through Blanchimont, the Mercedes gets it all wrong on the inside. The Lexus goes into the back, and that causes both of them pretty much to end their race there. Next incident, same lap, the orange Ferrari clatters into the black Ferrari and then goes over the sausages and clatters into him again, and these two are teammates. I don't understand that move because the 31 black Ferrari gave him space but 32 just didn't respect it, and these two are teammates, so I just don't understand it. The instant before that, due to a bit of net cording, the Mercedes hits the back of the Bentley, which puts the Bentley in a rotation, and the Mercedes did hold off, but I think about 6 or 7 cars went past him, and then he decided to just start going again because the Bentley was just falling too far behind. Coming through La Source, we have the 949 Porsche going up the inside of the 31 Ferrari. Again, this is another driver that's out of position, didn't qualify. Due to the amount of people who was on track this time, it was very tight for people to qualify, and he didn't get a chance to qualify sadly, so he's out of position. Coming back to that number 8 Lexus, still fighting his way up the grid because he's out of position. Come through Blanchimont, he takes the inside line of the 31 Ferrari and moves himself up to 11th position. Riding on board the 91 Nissan going through Stavelot, we see that the 444 Ferrari seemed to have a little bit of a wobble on turning, which caused him to go wide into the dirty stuff, and that allowed the Nissan to cruise past. And ultimately, Nissan now moves up to 13th position, and the Ferrari moves down to 14th. Coming up the Camel Straight, we have the 887 Bentley looking to get past the 77 Aston Martin. He gets past going the long way around Les Combes, and then he has the inside line for Malmedy. He's further back in the grid because of that tap that put him into a rotation at the end of the first lap, but he's looking to try and build himself back up. Riding on board the AAA Audi, coming up to the chicane, the Audi goes for an almighty lunge up the inside of the 64 Porsche. Good observation by that Porsche, because that was a big lunge from that Audi, and that Porsche didn't just turn in and hit him. But ultimately the Audi now moves up into 7th position, whereas that Porsche drops to 8th. More onboard footage, but now on the 421 Bentley. It looks like the Bentley had a better run up Rouge and had most top end going down the Camel Straight. Passes the Aston Martin, and it looks like even though the Aston Martin looks to be fighting back, it just seems to be struggling on that part of the track, because this is 2 positions he's lost in that exact part, and he is slipping backwards. On the dash of the Porsche, we can see now coming through a Rouge, That Audi seems to have got it all sorts of wrong, because he has zero speed coming through that corner, and that is not a corner you want to go slow through. So that was easy position for the Porsche, as he now has a big run up the Camel Straight, and the Audi's just going to have to linger behind. 2 laps later, and that Audi seems to be having severe problems in that corner. He's going way slower than the rest of the field, and ultimately the 412 Porsche robs 2 positions as he comes through. One from the Lexus that was held up by the Audi, and then again from the Audi that was really slow coming through. So now Porsche jumps up 2 places, Lexus stay in the same place, and Audi loses 2 places. Still on his recovery drive, the 887 Bentley is looking to get around the 32 Ferrari, but ultimately doesn't manage to do it. But you'll be able to see him weaving left, right, trying to put this Ferrari driver off. Gets close, but doesn't quite get there yet. Watching from above the 240 McLaren as we come through Lecombe, as we can see that the 36 Audi comes off track. I think he has mechanical issues because he had a crash further in the race, and I don't think he had it repaired, but unconfirmed. And yeah, ultimately he loses positions, and that continues to happen as the race goes on. So the first car to come through the pits was the 44 Mercedes, as he goes through the chicane, takes a position away from the 444 Ferrari. He's now fighting himself back up the order as the pit stop window is now open and everyone starts going through the pit service. So it's an interesting way he would end up after the pit cycle has been finished. Audi's trying to make his way back up the field, but ultimately hasn't taken his pit stop yet. So he gains 2 positions there, but he will lose them as the pit service is done. Coming up the Camel Straight, we see that the 444 Ferrari has got a way better run than the 32 Ferrari. I think the 32 Ferrari has just come out of the pits, but the 32 Ferrari is holding his position as we come through Lecombe. But that 444, as the 32 goes up the inside of too far, hits the curb, and that 444 gets around the outside and then gets the position. Battle now for 9th position, but could be higher because a couple of cars ahead still haven't gone through their pit cycle. As the Lexus, as we come in through Blanchimont, takes the 949 Porsche, gains the position, and these 3 cars now racing nose to tail coming up to the chicane. But ultimately the Lexus retains his position, so he gains 1 position, 949 loses position, and the Porsche in the back stays in his position, but looking to capitalise on any accidents that may occur. Coming up to Double Gachet, I don't know what happened here, but the Ferrari ahead just seemed to have lost control. I do know though that the Ferrari driver, as madman that he is, who's driving with a damaged foot, he dropped something on his foot, left foot, so he was really struggling with the braking. But what a madman! Shame he lost the position there. 2 Porsches nose to tail as we come through a Rouge. The 412 lifts off the ground as he tries to get around the 949 Porsche, the slower car coming up a Rouge. The 949 is slowed down by the slower Bentley coming up as we're going down the Camel Straight. So that concreted the 412 Porsche's position on the grid. So 412 now moves up into 8th position, and the 949 moves down to 9th. Riding on board now the 44 Mercedes. After the pit stop cycle, doesn't seem to have actually gained much. So coming up to campus, the Nissan stays over to the left, allows him to come through because he can see in the relatives that this car was actually driving 2 seconds a lap faster. Didn't want to hold him up, so just let him through. Coming up to the end of the Camel Straight, the 412 has a better run on the Lexus, gets side by side, comes through Lecombe, and the Lexus has to stick to the outside line, makes a mistake, goes to the outside again, which allows the 412 to go over and under through a chicane. And then in Malmedy, concrete is position. But just in the background, it looks like the 949 Porsche is going to be battling as well. But he tucks behind and waits his turn to see what the Lexus is going to do next. So coming up to the end of the Camel Straight again, but this time with 2 Ferraris. The 444 looking to be on the outside, and the 32 on the inside as we come into Lecombe. The 444 looked like he was giving the position away, but fought back and pushed the 32 wide. No contact, but forced him wide. Don't know what was going on there, but wherever whatever the reasoning behind it was, it worked. So the 44 or 444 is now allowed to drive away and keep the gap between him and the 32. I don't know what they give that driver in the pit stops, but he is really on a charge here. Coming up to the source, he goes up the inside of the number 9 Aston Martin. He's really on a dominant drive as we start coming to the end stages of this race. 2 laps later, this Lexus has been battling with this number 9 Aston Martin trying to get past. As we come through Blanchimont, we can see that Lexus has the inside line, but which then compromises that Aston Martin, which gives him the dirty line out of the corner. But that Aston Martin still hasn't given up. Coming into the chicane, the Aston Martin, where I can presume because of the dirty line and the little bit extra you have to go, lost a little bit of speed. So in the chicane, looked to be going up the inside, but the Lexus was just ahead to take the corner from him. On board as we come into the chicane, as the 32 Fry takes an almighty lunge. I've never seen a lunge that big before and work, but it did incur him having a bit of a bump with the 444 as he did not give him room at all. He closed in on him too much as he's coming around the left hand. Sort of the same thing he did on his teammate in lap 1 or 2, but what a lunge, and he managed to make it stick and take a position. Back with that 412 Porsche, we can see this again, that Audi having big problems in this corner, and again that 412 having a big wheelie coming out of the top of the source. But ultimately the 412 is ahead of the Audi, but the Audi looks like he doesn't want to give the position up too easy as we're coming down the end of the Kemmel Straight. But the Porsche is better in the corner, better on the brakes, and just drives away. Now for the end of the race, good hard battle with everyone that was on track, but ultimately RGM 12345 in the 15 Bentley comes home with the race win, closely followed by Jay Kostovich in the 240 McLaren as he started doing a little bit of showboating, followed by Pro Street Leo in the 25 Bentley. It's good to see Leo stick around and not have a disconnect like he has been having, and that result puts him up into 5th place on the championship leaderboard. So Kamir remains first due to even with his issues in this race, but he is now joint first with Jixer. Kyle Friesen, even though he was having issues in La Source all the time, is now up in 2nd position. Kostovich is in 3rd with Luke Southpole in 4th. And Shane Reese has now dropped down to 6th, just ahead of Henrik Nord and Chris Piquet. So now onto the team leaderboard, we have Madhouse Racing Team 1 ahead with 154 points, closely followed by Musto GD and 949 Sim Racing on 150 points, but both joint 2nd. And Slow Racing Team is slowly slipping down that order due to disconnect last race, losing on a lot of points. It could have been a bit closer, but losing on a lot of points. And they are closely followed by Pro Street Sim Team 2, which are only 7 points behind, so the next race could cause them to be ahead, and Slow Race Teams slipping further down that order to where they roughly should be. Emphasizes Slow Racing Team. As we run this on board of 2 laps, I'd like to apologise for not putting a video up last week. I disconnected from the race lobby, so I lost the replay, and yeah, I just lost everything. So I was unable to put a video up last week. My fault. I wasn't doing too good anyway. I think I was running maybe 10th, which is about normal for me really, but either way I just disconnected after the pit stop and lost everything, so I do apologise for that. Again, thank you all for watching, and leave comments down below of how it went. Again, leave comments as well for any improvements you'd like to see. I do have a video of a full 1 hour race, and I encourage you to go and watch that. Because if you like with what I've done with that race, because it's race 1 at Nürburgring, if you like what I've done, please let me know and I will do more of them. But I put the one out here just to, because it's very time consuming. I put the one out there for people to see and let me know what they think and if they want me to do more of them. So please, please, please go have a look at that and let me know if you want to see more like that or not. Again, as always, thanks 949 Sim Racing for hosting these races. It's the biggest grid they've had so far in these sprint races. It was 22 drivers, I believe, and yeah, on a track I've never been on, it definitely added to the intensity of the race. Super fun. It's a shame about certain things that happened in the race, but it was absolutely great fun. I just want to finish up by saying again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
What? Still here? This bit's boring. You can finish now. Bye. I really can't do that going at Jesus Christ. Let's try and get under the rear wing of this Ferrari.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
These Ferraris are quicker than me out of